Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Crys'Dawna. I am the owner and creator of Renovare by Crys'Dawna. And if you are new here, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new here, welcome back, friends and family. Today I am going to be doing this dresser behind us. I am probably going to try to do some kind of old world but bright look. I know that sounds crazy, right? Old world but bright. You'll see what I'm talking about if you checked out the last video that I had, not the very last one, but the one that I did the lamp on. I think we're gonna do something similar because I really liked that finish and I thought it would look really nice on a bigger surface. So if you guys wanna see that, stay here. The first thing I did was remove all of the hardware. This is not original, and so I'm guessing that's why on the bottom drawer there are 3 holes. Instead of plugging them, they just said, meh, whatever, you can't see them. Well, you can. And then what I did is I cleaned the inside really well, and then I'm going to also clean the outside. I use Green Ease cleaner. It's a concentrated cleaner, and so what I do is I put it in warm water and I go over this entire piece inside and out, so that way I know that it's nice and clean. Because I will be filling these holes, I'm going to put tape on the inside of the drawers so that way when I push my wood filler through, it will stop. So it acts as a block to stop the wood filler from continuing to go through. That way we can actually fill the holes and then it stops. I am also going to create a tab. So what you do is you fold over a piece of tape and then you put the sticky part on the inside of the drawer, and then this is going to allow you for those drawers where you don't have hardware to open them. Now this one I could have put a screwdriver in there, but later on you're going to see that the holes are going to be plugged up, and so we needed a way to be able to open them. So I'm going to use Plastic Wood X. I have actually never used this particular stuff, and so I kind of wanted to see how it compares to Bondo because that's my go-to. It is winter outside and I have a very, very small space to work in right now, and so that is why I'm using this. I wanted to see kind of like, you know, is it going to fill the holes? Am I going to have to put another layer over top? Because for me, I feel like with wood filler, you have to put another layer on top. So it is perfectly dry. It is pink and then it turns to a natural color when it's dry, which is nice. And that was a plus for that. So I am sanding over it, and then we're going to go ahead and use Purico's Basin Blocker. It's a gray blocker. It's a primer that I like to use on everything. So here we go. You can see I put some paint over that and you can still see the indents of the holes. I don't like that, and typically with Bondo that doesn't happen. So with this, what I would do is I would do a second layer, but because we are going to be doing texture and all the things, we're going to go ahead and just roll with it. So the next thing I'm doing is putting a layer of Juniper. It is the DIY Cottage Colors. It's an all-in-one paint, and I'm going to put 2 coats of that as a base coat on this entire dresser. Step is to add a layer of texture, so we will be using Salt Wash mixed with DIY's brand new color called Electrified. We want this to be nice and thick, so you're going to see we're going to put some paint in there, we're going to add our salt wash, we're going to mix it, and then at the end you want it to be thick enough that when you put it on your stir stick it's not just falling off. So that way we're able to create textures and peaks. Normally for adding texture, I use a cheap chip brush, but I went on Amazon and found some larger sea sponges, and that is what I'm going to be putting this texture on with. And then what I do is I clean it out, rinse it out in a bucket of water. Okay, so you can reuse it. And then I will go in with a metallic paint after this step. You're going to see here that I missed the surface as well. This allows for me to manipulate and move the paint a little bit more. Because it is so thick, I want to be able to make this extend and last as long as I possibly can, because I need to get the entire piece done. As you can see, I am using a Cool Whip container. Now, my husband said, "Why are you keeping that?" And I said, "I'm going to use it for something." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." Well, here we are. Joke's on him. I'm using a Cool Whip container because you can put the lid on this and come back to it. Typically with texture additives and mixes, you can't do that, but as long as you can keep it from getting air in it, you can. Here's our piece. It is completely covered and it looks like a hot mess. Remember, you gotta trust the process. So we are gonna be using Golden Ticket, which is a liquid patina metallic paint by DIY Paint. We are going to use that same sponge that I have cleaned up. It's a little bit damp, totally fine. And we are going to randomly put it on this piece. Again, I realize, I am very aware that this looks a little bit crazy. So just trust the process and keep watching. The next color we're going to be using is called Avery, and this color, we are not putting a full coat of paint. So you can see I am misting it with water. I'm going to dip it in and we're going to use it almost sort of like a wash. So I am just lightly going over the top part. This is going to be for the top half of the furniture. I'm putting water and you can see it's pretty watery, and I'm just spreading it around on the top. So you can still see that metallic through there. You can still see the electrified. You can still see some of the base coat. What we're doing with this is we are just making this be almost a wash, but instead of mixing paint with water, I am just dousing this with some water and then going over it with the paint and just spreading it in that technique. We will move to the bottom half of the piece, and the color that I will be using is another one of the new colors called Walk on Water. We are going to do the same technique on this, except that you're going to see me using my Crys'Dawna Trust the Process brush as well. And that is when I am just trying to blend everything together. And so first we're going to add this color the same way we did the Avery. It is a little bit more of a brighter color, but we are going to be able to tone that down by just going over it with water and pushing it around. And then again, you're going to see me using my longer blending brush, and that is going to allow me to push that color a little bit more into the middle. And because this is a clay paint, when I reactivate the Avery with water, it is going to allow me to blend it with the Walk on Water. So right here, you can see me pushing with the blending brush, and I'm just spreading that color throughout, and that way it is not quite so in your face bright. I wanted to add just another layer of dimension, so I will be using the color Blue Iris. It is, again, DIY paint, and I am going to go ahead and add this to the sides and corners just to deepen that a little bit and just add another layer of dimension. I don't want to fully cover everything, so I am going to mist it with some water and slightly white back in certain areas and dab back certain areas so that way we can expose that color underneath. All those colors underneath are going to pull through, but then we still have some of that blue right there. To create the center to be almost like there's light on it, and so I'm using DIY's Painterly paint, and this color is called Glow Up, and I am taking my Crys'Dawna blending brush and I'm just going to dab it in there after I mist it with water and pull it down into the center of the piece, and again just kind of blend it into everything, and this is going to lighten it up so you can see how easy it blends into everything. And so this is why using all the DIY products has been really nice, because they work really, really well together. One thing about clay paint is that when it's dry, it lightens, and so you really do need to put a top coat on it to bring out all the colors and the richness of the paint or your piece. And so we are going to use the clear wax, and you can just see how it brings it back to life and brings it more deep. And that's originally the finish that we wanted. Sometimes it looks really cool when it lightens up, but that is not what I went for. And so I am putting this wax on this entire piece so that way I can see all of the dimensions and everything. Now I will tell you guys that I am working in a very small area, and so I didn't get a chance to really do an outro video. I do have some staged photos that will be coming, but I do have a workshop hopefully being delivered in the next month and a half, and so videos will be a lot better quality. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. Until next time, guys, happy creating.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. darling. We could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty,